Okay, picture this. You get a deep cut on your hand. You get the bleeding to stop, but then that sinking feeling hits. You can't feel your own fingertip. That numb, disconnected feeling, that's a sign a nerve has been cut. Today, we're going to dive into what that actually means, and we'll walk through the incredible process surgeons use to, well, reconnect those lines. It's a scary situation, and it happens more than you'd think. One second, it's just a kitchen accident, and the next, a part of you has just gone silent. That numbness is your body screaming that a critical connection has been lost. So what is really going on in there when the signal just vanishes? All right, the star of our show here is the peripheral nerve. And the absolute best way to think about it is like a super high-tech cable. It's a two-way street. It's constantly sending messages from your brain, telling your hand to move, and at the exact same time, it's sending signals back to your brain, letting you feel the world around you. So let's start right at the beginning, with the injury itself, because knowing what to look for in those first few moments, well, it can make all the difference in the world. When that nerve gets cut, the communication line is literally severed. Those electrical signals zipping from your brain just hit a dead end. They're stopped cold. And that's exactly why you get that instant numbness, or why you suddenly can't move a finger. The command from headquarters just isn't getting through. And here's the unsettling part. It can happen so easily. We see these injuries from things that happen every day. A slip of a kitchen knife, a broken piece of glass, all the way up to serious accidents with power tools. And the wrist? That's a real hot spot, just because so many of these vital cables are running right under the surface of the skin there. Okay, so if you take away one thing from this section, please let it be this: the red flags. If you get a deep cut and you suddenly lose feeling or you can't move a finger, do not wait. This is not a let's see how it feels tomorrow situation. That's a huge sign that you've got a nerve injury that needs a doctor right away. So you've done the right thing, you're getting medical help. The next phase is all about playing detective, figuring out exactly what's damaged and how badly. The diagnosis really comes from two sides. There's your side of the story, the symptoms, what you're actually feeling, like numbness or weakness. But then the clinician looks for hard evidence, for signs. They'll do tests, like checking if you can tell if you're being touched with one point or two. And get this, a really fascinating clue can be something as simple as dry skin, which tells the doctor that even the tiny nerves controlling your sweat glands have been cut. Now, here's something that might surprise you. You'd think they'd need to rush you in for a big MRI or some other fancy scan, right? Well, with a fresh cut, that's rarely the case. A skilled specialist can usually tell exactly what's wrong just by doing a careful, hands-on physical exam. Okay, the diagnosis is in. Now for the main event, the repair. If our nerve is a severed cable, how in the world do surgeons actually splice those incredibly tiny wires back together? This is the huge challenge for a surgeon. And believe me, it is not a one-size-fits-all kind of problem. The right fix depends completely on the kind of damage that's been done. In the best-case scenario, we're talking a nice, clean cut. The surgeon can do what's called a direct repair. This is microsurgery at its finest. They get under a powerful microscope, bring the two nerve endings together, and stitch them with sutures that are literally thinner than a strand of human hair. It's amazing. But what if it's not a clean cut? What if a piece of the nerve was crushed or just gone? That's when you have a gap. And to fix that, surgeons have to build a bridge. They'll usually borrow a less important nerve from somewhere else, like your ankle. Now, here's the really cool part. The borrowed nerve isn't alive. It just acts as a perfect little scaffold or a tunnel to guide your own living nerve fibers as they slowly start to grow across that gap. So the surgery is done. That's a huge step. But it's really just the starting line of a very, very long race. Recovery takes an enormous amount of patience. And the reason why? Well, it all comes down to one little number. About 1 millimeter per day. That's it. That is the painstakingly slow speed that a nerve can regrow. To give you some perspective, that's about the thickness of a credit card. So just think, if the injury is at your wrist, that nerve has to rebuild itself millimeter by millimeter all the way down to your fingertip. That one fact explains why recovery is a game of months, and sometimes even years. So this kind of gives you a roadmap for that journey. The first couple of weeks are all about just protecting the repair. Then, maybe a month or two later, you might start to feel it. That first little tingle, that first sign that things are waking back up. The real noticeable progress happens over the first year. But what's truly amazing is that your body can keep making improvements for up to 2 years after the surgery. And I cannot stress this enough. The surgery reconnects the hardware. It's the therapy that reboots the software. Your brain and your hand literally have to learn to talk to each other again. Therapy helps keep things from getting stiff, but it also does things like sensory reeducation, which is basically teaching your brain how to make sense of the new kind of fuzzy signals it's starting to get. Without therapy, you're just not going to get the best results. So, your role in all this is huge. It's non-negotiable. That repair is so delicate at first. Even a small accidental stretch can literally pull it apart and undo everything. You have to be so careful in those first few weeks. It's absolutely vital. Okay, so after all of that, the injury, the surgery, the months of therapy, we get to the big question. What's the bottom line? How well does this all actually work? Well, the honest answer is it depends. A few things really matter. Sensory nerves tend to do a bit better than nerves for movement. It also helps if the cut is closer to the fingertip, just because there's less distance to regrow. And yeah, being younger, being healthier, and getting it fixed quickly all help. But the biggest factor you can control? Your commitment to therapy. But here is the real takeaway, the hopeful message in all of this. Getting back to 100%, well, that's not always realistic. But the vast majority of people get what we call meaningful function back. And that means you can feel again, you can move again. You get your hand and your life back. The connection is restored. So we'll just leave you with this thought. The whole process is so slow, you can't even see it happening day to day. But deep inside, this tiny biological fiber is pushing forward, millimeter by millimeter, absolutely determined to bridge that gap and reconnect the line. It's just a powerful testament to the incredible healing power that's built right into our own wiring. It's a reminder that even when things seem broken, the body is always, patiently, trying to heal.